Well, hello. This is Steve for Backpack Journeys, and I hope everybody's doing well. I thought today that I would just give a couple of updates to the Amtrak travel, what's going on that I just learned a couple of days ago. So first I want to say thank you to all the new subs, the overwhelming majority of people who visit my channel and our subscribers. Read my tips on Amtrak travel. It is very much appreciated. I enjoy the comments and questions. I would like to say if I haven't gotten to your comment or question in a timely manner, it was because for some reason YouTube did not send me an email stating I had one like they have in the past, so I wasn't aware it was there. Now that I know to go look for it in the analytics, I will be faster. But I'm not forgetting you, and I do appreciate everybody who has taken an interest. It's my surprise and beyond all my expectations of when I started this channel. So, a couple of things I just want to tell you about. Number one, this is the biggie, in my opinion. This is the biggest one. Starting October 1st, the long-distance trains will only be in operation 3 days a week. Not every day anymore. October 1st, 3 days a week for long-distance trains. Most of you who visit my channel are going to take at least one cross-country train when you do your loop. Most people think we're doing loops and not out and backs. I tend to do out and backs. That will affect you. So if you have already bought your tickets, be sure, and I don't know which days and I don't know which trains, I'm not going to get into the particulars. I'm not 100% sure if Amtrak has their schedules out now. I would think they have, since they made that announcement. But what I would suggest you do, if you're looking for tickets, or if you've already bought your tickets, again, visit Amtrak online, www.amtrak.com, and look at your train that you're going to take. Just pretend like you're going on a trip and you can see what days they're running, or call the customer service number that will be somewhere, either on your ticket that you've got or usually on their ticket or the website too, and find that out. You're able to make changes, but just keep that in mind. Also keep that in mind if you're planning to travel after October 1st and have not made reservations. You might want to go ahead and look and see when they are running, because you may have to alter your vacation to meet when the trains are running. So I wanted to put that out there. That's a huge cutback. Huge cutback. And it has to do with ridership. It has to do with the economy, the pandemic. It has to do with all that and the ridership. Now, right now, from what I understand, somebody asked me about riding coach and sitting in a dining car sitting close together, and I would assume riding coach sitting close together. What I have heard people say that there's plenty of room in coach now for social distancing, and I think that is because of ridership, low ridership. After October 1st, when they cut back to 3 days a week on the longer trains, not so sure how that's going to be, if they're still going to do that, because there are going to be more people wanting to ride in the 3 days and get more people on the train. So I'm not 100% sure that's going to work. Excuse me. But for right now it is. The social distancing doesn't seem to be a problem right now. The last thing I want to cover is people have been, it was online, I saw this the other day. Someone was concerned they are going into Chicago. I'm not picking on Chicago. I'm going to say Chicago and New York are the two big cities where places where if you're in a hot spot state, which would be all of the South and California and a couple of others. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm in one. They don't want us there unless we quarantine ourselves for 14 days after arrival. So people are concerned. I know Chicago, that's the hub where the cross-country trains leave. Very busy station where a lot of trains leave. You're going to be going into Chicago. Some people are concerned that they are not going to be able to stay 14 days in Chicago just to continue their trip, or they already had their tickets, or it's not feasible. What I've heard, if you are concerned about this, and I would say New York is going to be too, because we're not supposed to go up in there, either New York, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Also has asked us not to go unless we stay 14 days. If you're not sure whether or not, you should know whether or not you're in one of the red spot states, or whatever they call it. If not, check the CDC website, check the news, check YouTube videos about it, Google it. It will let you know. It's basically all the South, and I know California is in there. But I've heard that Amtrak is not going through and checking people and policing. I hate to use that word these days, but monitoring people. If you have a layover, which I never do, I make sure I have enough time that I'm going to make the train, have enough spaced out, so I have a train. I'll do a layover somewhere else and not in Chicago and not in New York. I'll do it in another city. But if you do and you have a layover in a hotel, not too sure what the hotel is going to say. Different hotels may have different rules. You might want to call and find out what they say, what the rule actually is. These rules nowadays with mandates, and they are mandates, but and not laws. So they are very confusing. Confusing just to live in it, and it's also confusing to have to travel in that. So if there's any concern, you can look that up. If you're really concerned, somebody made a suggestion, don't go into those cities. When you get your ticket, stop short. Don't go to the end of the line. Get off in another city. I know I'll just say New York. I'm not picking on New York. I like New York, love New York Penn Station. But that is just the area, that whole state, that affects that whole state. Whole state of New York, whole state of New Jersey, whole state of Connecticut. That's the whole state. Chicago is just the city. So if Chicago is where you're going, if you're very upset or anxious about it, there's been a suggestion by some people to don't go into Chicago. So you might want to consider that. Not taking anything away from Chicago, but if you're upset about being caught in Chicago for 2 weeks, maybe not go into it, and you're from one of these states. Okay? And if you're really, really, really anxious, I think the more you travel on Amtrak, the less anxious you get. You learn to roll with the punches. I don't think it would bother me. I roll with the punches. I've been homeless before out west for a day or two. For a day I was homeless. I understand how that goes. But if you are extremely anxious, and that is understandable, I'm not judging. There's no judgment here. I totally understand where you're coming from. I've been there. I understand that. You might want to postpone your trip to when you can get into the cities. If you're not a roll with the punches kind of person, and you're like everything, all your ducks in a row, and everything's going to happen perfectly, you might consider postponing until things settle down. Okay? That's what I have for you today. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe. Keep those comments and questions coming. And until next time, happy rails.